plays where the audience sits there and says, wow, that's not them, that is us, which is what the essence of art is. Art, whatever it is, theater, music, painting, literature, is the device by which we understand something better about ourselves. Not about them, about ourselves. And Eugene O'Neill and Arthur Miller and Tennessee Williams and others were able to do that. Inevitable that all those movies and Stallone and his other movies all get kind of lumped together. But First Blood was actually a very good movie, based on a very good book, well directed by a wonderful director, Ted Kotcheff, a script that was pretty good. Later on, those movies degenerated into something else, which is essentially a machine to make money with. But the first movie, First Blood, was pretty good. Now, I should point out that well into the shooting of that movie, the intention was that Rambo would die at the end, die very much like a kabuki warrior that he considered himself to be, essentially committing seppuku, or killing himself. About 6 weeks into the picture, the two producers, realizing what they had, said, he ain't gonna die in this movie. He's gonna stay alive to make at least one sequel, if not 6. So he did, but it was a pretty good movie. The rest of them, I can't really comment on because frankly, I don't think I've actually ever seen any of the sequels, but that first movie was not a bad movie. And it created this character that, you know, very much like Rocky, that people respond to. Pop culture. You can't account for it. Our train, which you can take from Helsinki to Leningrad, and we're surrounded, we're the safest people in the world because we were surrounded by KGB agents all the time. And it was easy to tell who they were because they always wore these expensive sable hats. And they all had bad teeth, steel teeth, in fact, like characters in a James Bond movie. I think, in fact, it was the James Bond movies that made them dress the way that they did, which is always so often the way. In any case, we were safe as houses because we were surrounded by KGB guys, which did not stop Lee Marvin from getting completely shit-faced every chance he could possibly do. But the train was, I mean, it was in the middle of winter, and that part of the world in the middle of winter is not exactly a winter wonderland or a vacation paradise. It was cold and it was dark, and the liquor flowed freely and frequently, and I remember Leningrad, as it was called in those days, it's back to St. Petersburg now, was one of the most beautiful cities I'd ever seen, frozen though it may have been. We had a good time with that picture. That was when, you know, kind of mainline Hollywood movies were made with a story and characters and dialogue and adults, none of which seem to be necessary anymore in making movies or in selling them, so you don't see them. But Gorky Park was a real movie made from a very successful book. And William Hurt was terrific in it, and Lee was great, and a wonderful British cast. Michael Apted, a great director.